Hey, what's going on, everybody? This feels like take 47. Hopefully we can get through it. Let's get right into it. Today was practice number 9, the first one after recovery day, the first practice after they had their first fall scrimmage on Saturday. Good seeing the guys back out here. Once again, we were able to watch 4 periods of action, going through position drills and things like that. And there's some observations I'm going to mention that I want to mention about the running backs in particular. But first, I want to talk about what Mario Cristobal had to say after practice. There were some injuries from the scrimmage, and there's a few that I want to mention, but also just for a more complete coverage of the injuries and what's going on with these people, I just want to refer you back to InsideTheU.com. Plenty of information there, but I want to touch on a few guys in particular. Trevante Citizen, freshman running back, is going to be out a while. He dealt with an injury there at the scrimmage. Jared Harrison Hunt, defensive tackle, was not out here today. Coach feels like he'll be back the next day. We'll see how that goes. And then Zion Nelson, who's been out all fall camp. Saw him after practice. You know, he wasn't practicing, but I saw him afterwards, and he did not have his big, large knee brace on, so that's a good sign as he's coming back from off-season surgery. We'll see how soon they can get him back out there, but certainly no rush with him with how Miami's schedule plays out. But Coach said, you know, Zion's close to returning. So again, more information on the website. So one thing Coach mentioned, there were 10 NFL scouts from different teams out here today. That's not uncommon. I've seen other scouts here at practices, but one guy that they were asking about was wide receiver Xavier Restrepo. Coach said he's been by far the most productive receiver in fall camp. And that's a good sign as Miami's trying to get a guy to get elevated, but also means these other guys got to step up. So Restrepo is just one of these guys. We've talked about him quite a bit. Leads all the drills, kind of goes through all the reps, and also, you know, he does a good job of finding holes in the defense, and that's exactly what you want from a slot receiver, be able to find those pockets, and he obviously has that great connection with Tyler Van Dyke, his roommate, so that's good that he's doing well, and, you know, for him personally, good he impressed in front of the scouts today. One of the things Xavier said afterwards, and he spoke to the reporters, along with linebacker Caleb Johnson and safety Cam Kitchens, 2 other guys that did well in the scrimmage, but one thing Restrepo said about the defense, he just felt like they're really good. You know, he feels like this defense that they're going against is doing well, and that's not a surprise. If you guys have been staying locked into these, I've talked about the defense. I really feel like they do have a chance to be very good, and a deep team, a team that tackles much better than they did a year ago, and, you know, a lot of competition, and that's what Coach spoke about, in particular on the back end. Feels like there's a lot of competition, and he feels like that defensive backs are doing well, but a lot of competition back there, and guys have to make plays. Cam Kitchen's one of those guys that's been making plays. He's excited to kind of, you know, essentially working himself back in from the injury that he suffered in the spring. So he looks good. I saw him over the summer. Looks good in workouts, looks good out here. So he's definitely trying to challenge, you know, James Williams, Avante Williams, all 3 of these guys. You know, somebody's got to step up and make plays, and we will see how that goes moving forward. So some of my observations watching running backs, I'm gonna have video on the running backs individually. You guys saw the video I did on Trevante Citizen earlier, but there's 3 other guys that definitely are in this mix, essentially, that are gonna be those top guys. And Thad Franklin's kind of behind these 3, the way I look at it. Don Chaney Jr., Henry Parrish, and Jalen Knighton ahead of them. And just watching these guys, you know, Jalen Knighton certainly goes first in a lot of these drills. I definitely think he's the lead back at this point. And I've talked about it before. It's up to these other guys to kind of challenge him. But I will note that one thing that I've noticed throughout fall camp, noticed it again today, is the guys catching the ball out of the backfield. It's certainly going to be important. We see it every day at practice where the running backs are expected to catch passes out of the backfield. It's something that Josh Gaddis, offensive coordinator, expects from his running backs. And Jalen Knighton has done well in the past, you know, with the numbers he put up last year in terms of catching the ball out of the backfield and turning it into 3 touchdowns, which was great. But Jalen out here, he's dropping passes, and that's not a good sign because I'm seeing him drop passes on air, on drills where he should be catching the ball. It's not against the defense, so he's got to be better. He does have good hands, but he's got to be more focused and definitely catch more at a high efficiency rate. And the guy who's actually caught the most passes, or at least looks the best in these drills, has been Henry Parrish. You know, I think Don Chaney Jr. has struggled catching the ball, you know, in terms of either getting squared up or whatever it might be, but not coming down with a lot of catches. And I think Jalen's a better pass receiving running back than Don, but he's not been as efficient. And of the 3, I think Henry Parrish has been the most efficient, not dropping as many passes as these other guys. And that could give him an advantage if Jalen continues to struggle with that and Don is still kind of working his way back into it. So that's what I noticed today. Certainly it's always good kind of focusing in on these guys with their footwork. It's a high definitely a high point of emphasis for Kevin Smith. So the way the schedule is kind of shaping up for the team this week, they're going to be back out with a full padded practice, not a scrimmage, but it's going to be a full padded practice on Tuesday night. We're not going to be able to be out here. A little disappointed in that. Wish we could be out here. Being able to see these guys in full pads is always great. And also Wednesday, not expected to be out here as well. A lighter day. Thursday, I'm optimistic we'll be back out here. Same with Friday, we will see. But again, second scrimmage is going to be on Saturday. And one of the things that Coach Cristobal talked about, and one of the things I definitely think is a good idea, is he's rotating the times of the scrimmages based on the times that Miami has their games. So the first scrimmage was at night. This one will be more in the afternoon because they have afternoon games. And he said he wants to be able to have players understand what their bodies, how they react to the different times, and just get used to that. And I definitely think that's a good thing as you kind of switch it up a little bit on the players. And certainly scrimmage 2, now you're starting to get a lot closer. And just to recap again, this was practice 9. Miami's planning on having 25 practices before their first game. The way it shakes out, it'll essentially be 20 practices in fall camp, and then they have 5 in preparation for Bethune-Cookman in that final week. So, but 25 total. We are getting really close to the halfway point. I can't believe it's already here. It's very close, and guys have to start separating themselves. Although I do expect things to be pretty even the first couple games as they kind of gear up for that third week against Texas A&M, who's ranked number 6 in the preseason AP poll that just came out today. Miami's ranked 16th. I have an article on the site. It has not been good in years past when Miami's been ranked in the preseason because they've not finished ranked. It's only happened one time of the previous 4 since 2007. Miami's hoping to reverse that trend. Once again, you guys heard me mention, I do believe this can be a good team. I expect them to finish ranked. I expect them to have a good year. I really like the defense of this team. I think it's going to only pick up from here. Hearing good things out of the scrimmage with the defense and its physicality. Coach has mentioned it as well, hinting at that they are doing a good job with that, and he's talking about the competition. I like the versatility that they have on the defensive line. They can move guys around. I've talked to some of the defensive linemen about that, in particular Akeem Mesidor, and one of the things that Akeem had to say was, he feels like guys don't have to come out of the game if they don't need to. Maybe they can kind of rotate to a different position. Also, it really keeps the offensive linemen on their toes in terms of you can move guys around a little bit and give the offensive line that you're going against a different look. And also, I think there are some packages where you're going to see different guys in on the field at the same time that that traditionally you wouldn't see. So I had to wrap this video up a little early. Got to shoot it on my phone because my camera keeps overheating. It's definitely a hot day out here today, but definitely stay locked in. Again, I'm going to work on some videos, some clips of the running backs as I do with all the practices. But anyways, yeah, there's going to be a lot of competition. I think that's my kind of big takeaway with the team in terms of we are seeing it out here. Hearing guys are doing well, kind of multiple guys at different spots, which is a good thing as Coach Cristobal and the rest of the staff continues to kind of look for answers at the different positions in terms of who's going to get that first opportunity in games. But certainly, Miami's getting close to that halfway point. Scrimmages are very important. Another thing too with the offensive line, guys continue to rotate around there. I haven't mentioned it too much, but Jalen Rivers has talked about how he's rotated between guard and tackle, and he's even getting some center reps, and I think that's a very interesting spot for him as well. I think he could be good there. Certainly they have Ja'Kai Clark. So anyways, a lot going on with this team. A lot of people have a lot of questions. Definitely drop below if there's some things I haven't addressed lately that you'd like for me to do. But just want to thank everybody and thanks for your patience. This wasn't the video I expected, but that's how it goes sometimes. We'll wrap this up, but hopefully you have a good rest of the day and take care.